So this is my test setup. I obviously have a 12-volt battery, reasonably charged, feeding in. I've got the wires in for the battery, the pump, the temperature sensor, the control unit, obviously the power's on. I've just put the exhaust on. I don't think it will make any difference not having the inlet on, but I don't want the exhaust circulating straight round and going in. The fuel, I used to have I've still got an old Chinese diesel heater. The fuel is just stuck in the same tank, comes out, loops around a few times. Don't want to cut this because I don't know how much I'm going to need. There's about 1 meter of it in the kit. This is fairly stiff. This is stiff as well, but this is also stiff, which I presume it needs to be to withstand the vacuum, because it's going to be sucking fuel. It won't be a huge vacuum, but anyway, it loops around, goes in the filter, goes through the pump, through this, which forget what that is, damper I think it's described as, and out, and then it's got to pump it all the way along all these loops, because again, don't want to cut it. And for the moment it's going into a jar. Once we've got fuel in all this 6 meter length or whatever that is, I will then plug it into the fuel pickup down there. The thing sticking out at the bottom. Obviously I'll have to go around this side to do that. There's the fuel pickup. I've put lots of clamps on all the joints, but I'm not really that bothered. These rubber adapter pipes are really quite stiff, so although I've got clamps ready to go on if it does leak, I don't think it will. Not at the moment. I mean, obviously when I'm fitting it properly, I'll do that. Right, so now we need to set off the GoOIL. Oh, one more thing. Somebody said that this came ready primed. Mine has certainly had a liquid in it, but it wasn't diesel. I think it's just some kind of lubrication to carry it over the priming process. So, down to the priming process. Well, I don't know if I can set this up so you can see it. Right. So, if I press this, it lights up and comes on. Can you see that? I hope you can. And at the moment it's set to van temperature. I press that, it says the heating is off. If I go along one to water temperature, it says the water's off. I then select the fuel, it's just on fuel I think. Yes, it's just on fuel, doesn't matter. Fan, clock settings or timer settings, clock settings. And then here we go, this is the spanner. And in here we can set whatever volleys, I haven't checked yet. Atmos, I presume that's pressure. I don't know. Offset, that's I think that's to allow for your clock not being the same as the clock on this, I don't know. Temperature, no idea what that is. Brightness for this thing, don't need that. 12 or 24 hour clock. And finally, GoOIL. I love this. So this will do 90 seconds of pumping the oil without trying to light the burner. Oh, it's gone off. You have to not hang about too much on these. So let's find GoOIL again, and this time I'll press the button. There we go. And so we've got 90 seconds, and there she goes. So I've already sucked fuel through this far. So here it's starting now to come out of the, I don't know if you can see that, starting to come out and work its way around this coil. So the next thing, I don't know how long this is going to take. I suspect it won't take too long, the speed it's going. We'll start to get some out of the end. I can see lots of stuff going round in the coils. I don't know if you can. Probably not. Like that you might be able to. I can see bubbles going around anyway. And once it starts coming out there relatively free of bubbles, I mean I don't know if you can see them, whoops, I don't know if you can see them up here, but even, you know, it's always got some bubbles in it. I've found this with my old diesel heater, it always had some bubbles in it. As you can see, I'm really professional videographer here. Still going round. Oh, it's nearly there now. I think one more loop. Oh, that's my 90 seconds up. Now what I'm going to do is I will actually stop videoing here because what, oh no, it's got fuel in it now. Of course, it doesn't matter. What I was going to say was I don't like running it dry, but it's got fuel in it now, so I'll just go back and set up another 90-second run. I'm just doing the same as you've already seen. Go through to the spanner. There we go. Go through to the GoOIL, and here we go again. Now this should start coming through fairly quickly, but I'm going to run it for a while and hopefully clear out most of the bubbles that might be in there from the filter or whatever. I know people are going to tell me, by the way, that the fuel pump is at the wrong angle because it's vertical. Yeah, that's at the wrong angle according to the instructions, but I don't always go with instructions. As you can see, there's still quite a few bubbles coming out at the moment, but there is also quite a bit of the dripping of fuel. And to tell you the truth, although I said there's quite often bubbles in the pressure line, there are very few now coming through. That's interesting, because my old Chinese diesel heater used to always produce bubbles here, and as you can see, if I get it to focus, there's none now. So I'm going to wait until we've passed a fair bit of fluid through, and hopefully, oh, there's my 90. I'm going to do that again, and now I'll come back with the second part of this video, assuming I can work out how to join two videos together. I'll come back after I've connected up the fuel line. Ready for test number 2, in case anyone, well, not test number 2, but I've now bled the fuel system, and I'm ready to try, see if it lights. So I've rigged everything totally temporarily, as you can see. The exhaust, I'm just going through this in case you haven't seen part 1. The exhaust I've put on, but I've left the inlet off, just on the basis that I don't want the exhaust going in the inlet. But I don't think the inlet will be a problem. We've got the temperature sensor just down here, just dangling. We've got the controller, everything's wired in, the little cable ties are fastened. Battery power, I've bled the fixed the pump here. I know it's vertical, it's deliberate. I'm not going to argue about it, that's my idea. Well, it's not my, well, it is my idea, but I've seen other people do it. And I've bled all down this whole, whatever it is, 6 meters, 5 meters of the pressure line, the thinner pressure line, and I've fastened it onto there. There are 1 or 2 little bubbles in that line, but nothing to worry about. The fuel is just coming out of, sucking out of this tank, which belongs to the old Chinese diesel heater. So all we have to do now, I think, is turn it on. So I'll just put this down and pick this up, maybe angle that down a bit. As you can tell, I'm a very skilled videographer. So we'll turn it on, we'll select cabin heat, off, 5 degrees, not really warm enough, probably 10 degrees is, I suspect, but I'll go for 15. Right, let's see what happens. So I think that's all I need to do. Ooh. So what's started? We're blowing out here, so we're sucking in there. I don't think we're sucking in. We might be sucking in there, making noises. Pump hasn't started yet, of course. It's quieter than I expected, but it probably gets noisier when it's blowing fast. I think at the moment it's probably just checking that various fans are working. The circuit board, that's a cooling fan for the electronic control of the main fan, I believe. So soon, hopefully, we should get the pump start. Oh, I guess I should have put an ammeter on it, shouldn't I? Damn it! It'll be running the hopefully running the heater now. I didn't put an ammeter on it. I could go and get it, but by the time I get the ammeter, it'll be there, I'm sure. I don't know what time I actually switched it on at. Didn't look, so. Oh, pump started. And that second noise, I think, is the combustion fan. Yes, it is. Oh, sorry, I just held my hand there. So there's no heat out of it yet, but it is the combustion fan that's going. I can smell fuel, and there's a small amount of smoke coming out. Got a visitor. But I'm not going to stop now. I'll edit this bit out. I'm in the barn! There's a little bit of smoke coming out. Oh, and some warmth. I'm in the barn! This is my first trial start. There's a little bit of smelly smoke coming out there. Oh, it's stopped smoking now. The pump's going, you can hear the pump. There's nothing coming out of there.
There's a temperature reading there.
I've set it to a desired 15 degrees.
It's a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's got 10 litres of water in it that it heats up as well. So this is actually coming out warm now. There's definitely some combustion, so I presume it will speed up soon once it's got stable combustion going.
You've got to heat the water first before it.
No, there's no actual water in it at the moment. They're run quite happily dry.
Okay.
This is just a test run to see if it ignites properly and burns properly. It just basically confirms that the pump and the controllers and the temperature sensors and everything all work.
The old one there.
Yeah, that's the old Chinese one. This is Chinese as well, of course.
It's going to take off.
Sounds like it's ramping up, doesn't it? We got warm air coming out.
Intake.
They're all connected. No, they're all out. The intake's around here.
Okay.
This is the intake down here. Oh, pump's getting going. It's getting excited.
Yeah.
That's the exhaust, of course.
It's not a huge amount.
Sorry?
It's not a huge amount, sort of.
Well, it's
say a little bit.
Oh, yeah, but it runs up gently.
Yeah.
As it warms up, it'll put more fuel in.
Yeah.
I've only asked it for 15 degrees, so that's the sensor there. So I don't know whether if you ask for a higher temperature, it ramps up more.
It's like 9.5 degrees or so.
Outside?
10 degrees outside.
Is it? Is it that warm? We've definitely got warm air coming out. I can hardly hear the pump. It's a much quieter pump than the last one, than the other one. Yeah, I can feel it, but I can hardly hear it now the fan's got going. I think that'll be the end of this video for a little while. So as you can see, it's been running for 20 minutes now. It's good and warm. I mean, it's not like as hot as the old one up there at the actual exit, but then there are 4 exits. So, but yeah, I mean that's going to be plenty. In fact, it's beginning to warm the barn up anyway. So now my plan is to take the temperature sensor down there and just put it where it's catching the air from the outfall there. So that is now, I would say, quite warm. So we'll see how long it takes to start the wind down and switch off. Oh, winding down. Pump's gone down to about 1 every 2 seconds. Quite slow. That's quicker than I thought. I mean, the one up there, that takes 6-7 minutes to wind down and turn off. So I wonder how long now before this will cool off enough to turn it back on. I mean, I've only been filming for 1 minute 40 seconds. I'm really quite surprised how quickly it went off. But of course the desired temperature is 24. So I would imagine it will soon switch back on. Oh, we have some smoke. A little bit of smoke coming out. That surprised me. I wasn't expecting there to be any smoke. I mean, admittedly, it's only when it switches off, and maybe... No, I didn't notice any when it switched on, so... Well, if I notice when it comes back on, I'll... What's the time now? This is showing 22 minutes, so we'll see what time it starts to come back on now that that's in the cold air. And it's switching back on again, just 2 minutes later. Quite impressive. I made this mark. Don't know if you can hear me. I made this mark, this 32, at 8:32 on the clock. What I'm going to do is turn this off at 9:02, which will be half an hour, and use a measuring jug to top it up to the original mark. So there's 9:01. This time, last time I turned it off by putting the temperature sensor against the outlet. This time I'm going to turn it off using the control. That's my plan. Although I don't know how to do that. I assume I just press it and then select off or something. Roll the temperature down and select off. So wait till it gets to 9:02 and then we'll go for that. I might edit this bit. So I reckon if I press that, and then go off, press that. Now we got the wind down. Oops, I've got a bit of reflected light on the knob thing, haven't I? Never mind. So we're on wind down now. The pump has stopped. It goes off really quickly compared to the The others, the blowers have stopped. No smoke. Now I think before I noticed that this is a fan for cooling the electronics. That's still running. It's very quiet. Obviously the combustion fan is just running a little bit. Ooh, some smoke now. So I'm getting just a touch of smoke at the start up and at the turning off. The actual blower fan from here isn't working. That's still running. And that's still running. So it's sort of cooling itself down now. Right, I'm going to I'll get a measuring jug and measure the fuel consumption. That was half an hour run. So that's half a litre. Let's see if that makes it up to the mark. Bit more. I would say that's it. And I don't know if you can see that, but that is now, let me put my torch on. So that is now 300 mil. So it's used 200 mil in half an hour. That's not bad.